Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're unboxing this beautiful set of oil pastels from Sennelier. I wanted them for so long and I finally got them on Christmas. I actually wanted the 72 colored set, but I want to choose some colors myself, so I got this 48 colored set instead. And I ordered a bunch of color that I felt really drawn to, and now I have about 70 oil pastels, and it feels really luxurious. When I opened the packaging, I noticed that most colors are very vibrant and saturated, but there are a few very classy looking muted earth tones as well. The first thing I did was to rearrange them a little bit. I had an idea that I want to have light color on the top and dark colors on the bottom. And if any colors look very different from the oil pastels themselves, I can take notice of that while swatching. It was a bit tricky to decide how light or dark certain colors are. I took some pictures and desaturated them to help me to decide where to put them, and this is how they look like after the rearrangement. The following week I received some other colors I ordered and a wooden storage box for pastels. I sorted them in the same order. Light colors go on the left side and dark colors on the right side. They are so neat and beautiful when I'm finished, and I just can't help admiring them for a while before I put them away. The next day it's time to take out my swatch book. I got this one from the art museum in Copenhagen, and I used it to keep all my watercolor dot cards and color swatches. I noticed that the numbers on their color chart are somewhat random. I still can't figure out what order it is. So when I made my swatching chart, I really took my time to make sure that I got the numbers right. Strongly recommend that you use some sort of barrier cream before you draw with any oil pastel to protect your skin. And now let's begin swatching. The entire first page is for the 48 colors that came with the original set. I'll put the paint information on the left corner. Alright, the second page is for the colors that I chose myself. I chose a few colors from their landscape and portrait and still life sets, as well as a few colors that I thought were super cute. In the place I live, I couldn't find any art supply store where I could try out the Sennelier oil pastels, so I watched a lot of swatching videos and reviews to make up my mind about what color do I want, and I have to say I'm really satisfied with my little collection here. Now I'm going to do some blending tests to see how they behave with different blending techniques. I'm especially interested to see the differences between transparent and opaque oil pastels. The first one I want to try is blending with the color white, which is very opaque. I think it looks very similar to adding white to oil paints. The second test is working a light color into a darker color. I noticed that if the light color is transparent, it may look a bit messy when blending into a dark and opaque color, but it does create a very interesting texture. The next thing I want to try is to blend a darker color into a lighter color, and it seems like it didn't matter that much if the dark color is opaque or transparent. They look pretty much the same. Next, I try to blend with cotton swabs. I like how the paint seemed to blend into the paper, and it has a similar effect as watercolor. The last thing I want to try is blending with my finger. I can really feel how buttery these oil pastels are. I can almost feel how the heat from my finger starts to soften the paints. I have to just try one more time blending with a light and transparent color into dark and opaque color. Oh, sorry about my voice. I think it was quite unexpected that it turned out that way, but yeah, the transparent color is so glossy that it just smeared together with the color beneath, but not really blending with it, and it's not really glazing either. As much as I love these oil pastels, I did run into some issues with them. I have two colors from the 48 color sets that somehow got contaminated from the inside. I thought that I didn't clean them properly at first, but it was actually from the inside. I think the color Red Light had some kind of yellow grainy thing in them, and they felt not as smooth as the others. And the color Delft Blue also had a little white dot inside, and when I wiped it a few times it disappeared. I'm a little surprised to see this kind of issue from the top of the line company, but maybe I'm just unlucky. I also think the 48 color set has maybe one or two color duplicates, like these two greens. They're almost identical, even the texture is the same. I would much rather prefer if they chose another green for this set. Alright, now I want to do a quick study to get more familiar with these oil pastels. I recently borrowed this book from the library. Berthe Morisot is one of my favorite artists. I really love the way how she uses color, so I want to try to replicate part of her painting with these oil pastels. After I tried to copy some of the colors of her face, I tried to paint her eye on the right side. I think I made the mistake of making this eye study way too small because it's almost impossible to draw any detail of the eye, but I'm still very happy with how the colors and blending textures turned out. I also have this book about Gothenburg Colourism, which I never heard of. I haven't read the texts very much, but I think all the paintings are really fun to look at. They have such funky colors, and I want to do a copy study of one of the landscape paintings painted by Swedish artist Elsa Hansen Winberg. This painting is called Late Summer, and even if this was painted about 100 years ago, late summer in southern Sweden still looks pretty much the same, which I think is pretty cool. After removing the tape, I noticed that this patch of green was way too saturated. This green is really not my favorite. It doesn't have any yellow or blue in it. It's like the recycle sign on a plastic bag. I just had to add some natural color or even some dark red to balance it out. But I do love this painterly texture very much. I can't wait to paint more with them, and I noticed that there is a lot of white of the paper peeking through, so in the future I think it would be interesting to use gouache or watercolor to sketch the underpainting before adding oil pastels on top. Okay, that's all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!